You know that moment, you're mid-song at a gig and suddenly your mind goes blank. The lyrics are gone, the crowd is watching and you've no idea what to do next. It's one of the worst feelings as a performer, and I've been there, even after playing thousands of gigs. My name is Finbar and I'm a full-time musician gigging 7 nights a week in the pubs and bars of Edinburgh. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to stop forgetting lyrics live so you can perform with confidence, get rebooked, and just enjoy yourself on stage. Here's what we're going to cover in this video. Why forgetting the lyrics actually happens, my pre-gig lyric prep system, on-stage recovery techniques for when it does happen, and how your setlist choice makes all the difference. So let's jump in. Why does forgetting lyrics actually happen? It's not just nerves. There are, I would say, 4 main reasons. The first one being not enough reps under pressure. Now, you might think that you know a song, but playing it at home is not the same as performing it live. When the adrenaline hits, your brain looks for something solid to grab, and if the reps and practice are not behind the songs, your mind can blank. So get practice performing songs standing up in front of a mic, using the exact setup that you will be using at your gigs, so when you do actually get on stage, you're not completely distracted and overwhelmed with a brand new setup that you're not used to. Reason number 2, the phrase "jack of all trades, master of none" comes to mind. And in this context, what I mean is having too many songs but not enough mastery of them. Trying to cram 50 songs into your head might feel productive, but if you've only half learned them, you're more likely to trip up on stage. You're better off starting with 20 solid songs that you know inside out, and then building your set list from there, adding 10 songs at a time. Number 3 is a big one, and I think it is underrated as a reason for actually forgetting lyrics, and it is over-reliance on lyric sheets. So if your eyes are glued to lyrics every time you practice, you're actually training dependency rather than memory. And if your iPad crashes mid-gig or you lose one of your sheets, you're really stuck. Now, the 4th reason that people forget lyrics is daydreaming or mind-wandering mid-gig. If you're halfway through a song that you've played 100 times and suddenly your brain drifts off, maybe you're thinking about the next song, or you're thinking about something that happened earlier, or you're thinking about your to-do list for the weekend, then boom, suddenly lyrics gone. And this isn't a memory issue, this is just a focus issue. And this brings me to the next section of this video, which is my preparation strategy. How I actually prep songs and lyrics so that they stick and I'm less likely to forget them. Break songs into mental chunks. What I mean by that is songs that you were learning, split them into bite-sized sections. So verse, pre-chorus, chorus. So if one part slips, the rest is still intact. Second tip on this one that I find is the most powerful one for me is actually creating a visual story in your mind based on the lyrics of that song. Now, just a quick example of what I mean. Let's take the song "Dancing in the Dark" by Bruce Springsteen as an example. So the lyrics of the first verse, you have "Get up in the evening and I ain't got nothing to say, I come home in the morning." Right, so you start creating that visual story of a guy who gets up in the evening where it's dark outside. He goes out for the night, comes home in the morning, in the early hours of the morning, and just start to picture that, create that visual story in your head. It's much easier to remember the words then, once you have an actual narrative in the back of your mind. Now, this brings me to the next section of this video, which is in-gig recovery techniques. What to do if you actually do forget the words. Now, the number 1 golden rule, and I know it might be easier said than done, it's don't panic. And let me follow that by saying that usually people do not notice if you forget the words. Most of the time, nobody will actually notice. Either way, there are some simple things you can do. Number 1 is repeat the chorus. You are much more likely to forget the words of the verse of a song rather than the chorus. So if it does happen, just jump into that chorus, and again, you can just pretend nothing's happened. You might actually get people singing along again, and it also gives you time to reset mentally without losing momentum mid-song. The second thing you can do is just continue playing the chords to the song. So continue with the chords of the verse or the chorus, just act like nothing's happened. Look down at the guitar, pretend it's an instrumental section. Look around the room, make eye contact with people, pretend that this is what you were intending to do with this song. If you do this with confidence, it's much less likely that people are going to notice you've made any mistake at all. Number 3, you could even try to engage the crowd. Say something like, "Let's hear you, everybody," or "Help me out with this next bit." Just pretend that you're putting the responsibility on them to sing the rest of the song. Now, that only works if it's busy, obviously. If you're at a quiet gig, in the middle of a restaurant, you're not going to shout over the microphone to get people to sing along. But if it's busy and you forget the words, just say something like, hey, let's hear you. Come on, everybody, join in. Again, this just comes back to rolling with it, pretending that nothing's happened and that this was fully intentional. Now, section 4 of this video is how I lock in lyrics faster, how I actually learn songs faster. Number one thing you can do, record yourself singing the song and then listen back to it. I know this might get quite repetitive, but just while you're walking or driving, listening back to yourself actively and passively can just help reinforce those words in your head and the way you sing them especially. Next, learning just 2 or 3 songs at a time. Don't try to learn 10 songs in one day. Your brain will retain more if you focus on a small amount of songs at one time. Try to incorporate set list rotation. So instead of trying to create brand new set lists all the time, just rotate the order of the songs so that you're still practicing the same songs, but in different orders. So you don't get completely tired of the same songs, but it's also allowing you to practice them and get them to a level where you can play them in your sleep. Familiarity breeds confidence, and confidence is what will get you more gigs and good tips. Now, section number 5 of this video is why your set list matters when it comes to remembering lyrics. The songs that you choose matter more than you think. Play songs that feel natural in your voice. If you're straining to reach every line or to reach high notes, your brain is already distracted and you're more likely to forget the words. Choose crowd pleasers with repetitive lyrics. So songs like 3 Little Birds by Bob Marley, Stand By Me, Benny King. Songs that have a lot of repetition in them are just easier to remember and easier to play. Avoid songs that trip you up every time. There's no shame in shelving a song if it's truly not gig ready. So you don't need to have a perfect memory to be a great performer. You need a plan, some reps, and a few tricks up your sleeve when things don't go perfectly. I've seen it work for my clients and it'll work for you too. Let me know in the comments what works for you when it comes to learning songs and lyrics, and I'll catch you in the next video.